Good morning, everyone. I have a secret. Oh, soft puppy. Soft puppy, what a good secret. Are you going to be the face of our live stream today? So this is what's going on below the screen line. Let me see if I can scooch this back a little bit. Get both. Oh, precious. This cute. That's cute, bear. His mom. Don't exploit me on the internet. All right. Anyways, we're going to be doing a poetry reading this morning. It's from a blank page. I was going to call it the wrong book, actually. So, I guess without too much further ado, let's dig into this a little bit. Oh, what is this? What is this? You don't like this? I should be paying attention to the dog. Oh, there he goes. I know this is sort of like not the project I'm working on, but I really want to read this, and I feel like I should maybe do it before I finish publishing the book that I'm working on. Just to like double check none of these poems are in that book. You just don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know. So I read it. So, if you're ready, let's get it off. It's a long one. It's called Sunlit Nostalgia. In parentheses is tattoos. She left in the morning, taking all her photographs with her, which is throwback to September sun, because he left in the morning, taking all of his photographs with him. Blank as she stood, reflected in the sliding glass doria, vulnerable and strong and vulnerable. No longer the little girl, waist dips of her youth. Her bosoms felt deflated. They'd engorged at her fertile window, then sank down again to meet the rest of her under gravity's spell. The way basset hounds always look, even when they are puppies. Their way is slow, predictable almost, loping along. Oh, which is somewhat recent underlined in red. How do we spell this word? I don't mean looping, I mean lope. Lope. Here we go. Loping. Loping along. She'd felt that now for months, since she'd gone home, since she hadn't gone back home, since she stayed with an older man. His age pulled at her, closer to the grave than ever. Never a crash or wave or crave to feel her youthful pestilence. Okay, we're not going to use the word pestilence. That's just an ass. I'm going to go with presence. Youthful presence. Every time she'd turn vegan, he'd offer her a milkshake. Her sugar addiction couldn't resist, and she'd always have to add cake. She felt like this person she'd become wasn't her, and longed for the lust she used to thrive under, grappling in the bathroom, bent over as he came on her from behind, seeing the parts of her blank body and imagining the tattoos she'd get in the future. He'd been a tattoo artist after all, but all he ever added to her while they dated was the filling in of orange into her citrus moon. Maybe it's because she hadn't asked him for more. He'd never volunteered, yet he usually tattooed after they'd had a few, and she would be in bed by then. High schooler. Later, she'd be glad she hadn't tattooed herself into a suicide girl, yet longed for her next tattoo. Her tattoos were her longtime lovers. A hypodermic heart started her relationship with Ryan, but even before, she'd taken a knife to her boob and ink decay into what used to be precious skin. It held, but she took it out later. The of shiny faded as the gel pen ink left her body. Poisonous, she'd later hear it called, as she sat out by the light of the moon, her citrus moon, the stars at night, a shooting star, pinned across her 17-year-old dangerous hip bone that moved as she aged, her pubic hair moving ever closer, growing, encroaching. She thought puberty was a one-shot stage she'd already moved through, but the hair never quit creeping, kind of aging and taking over her body. There were only a few pieces that made it halfway down her thigh, but they lingered there nonetheless. She graced her next. gleam of poetry lit the room, but she was always decaying. Years later, she'd meet her again and think of nothing to say. She had always changed her, or rather, she'd always changed when she was around she. Their matching tattoos echoed each other, although she never shared her body like she wanted to. They were both gay, or bi at least. But when I pushed the boundaries to reveal her body to me, I felt an inner resistance of she. She didn't respond to blank the way I did. She never mirrored a push or a pull or seemed to take me into her or initiate. It left me wondering if she wanted this, and I never pressed through, although my boyfriend didn't seem to notice and blanked her anyways. Holes formed in my belly. Both times I could sense my long relationships ending, the hurt, the cheat, the jealousy. Years later, I'd meet another girl who had the same movements as she. She was stiff, rigid, and it seemed a no to me. But the Me Too movement was upon us, so I asked her consent at every turn, and she granted it. Later, she'd tell me of all the people that were sleeping with her that her husband preferred not to know about, and I made the judgment that she was blanking herself, like I had been, like I would have been with she. My words grant consent, but my body says no. It would be years later when a boy would teach me of the flip of Me Too, not about asking, but listening to what her body said to you. I was right with she and wrong with her. My apologies. My last tattoo of 22. Winds around my ribcage in a spiral of vines. She didn't hurt as she grew inches across my boob, but the vines kept creeping and measured a few more times. He'd cut into me deeply and kept cutting, continuously. His lies layered on, and the artist wanted to do another layer of ink to set it, but I kept it to one, because I could hold no more pain in my shaking body. He'd told me to get drunk, take pills before I came, but I'd read one of those tattoo release forums before and knew that wasn't the way. I held all the pain I could take and still have another photo of me blank next to him after blanking him again with a blank in his friend's mother's room. For years, I'd planned my next tattoo, but I started modeling by then. Progressively, each photographer and model told me how much they were glad I wasn't tattooed more than I was. A scattering of ink that detailed my past that I couldn't decide where to brandish, burnish, next to idolize by my body for the rest of my life. I thought about tattoos for my parents, adding the rest of my vines and hand flower, but they asked me not to. I hadn't thought about it much, more tattoos, until recently. I started to think about more white gracing my skin, ferns, leaf, mushrooms, words, secret slips of poetry I'd tuck into me, reminders to breathe, not to take life so seriously, etched into myself, to carry with me. Puppy dog paw prints, because these two littles are my life now. My lack of drawing skills held me back, perhaps for the best, and there's so much of me that I can't regularly see, yet much more I can. I'm reminded back to when I was dyeing my hair and adding tattoos to my body canvas. And now, what do? I stay home with the puppies, but they say they want to get tattoos on me too. Their tiny puppy paws leaving red marks as we stay in the same position too long. I long to idolize their love. Deep, the feeling of falling The feeling of being small, immersing oneself and inviting the pull, empty lungs bring into the depths of the water. I would really like some tea, but I have this really hot puppy on me. So this will stay here. Alone at night. The middle of the night in the city of ripe, yet smelling the scent of corn stalks. Stalkers, paralyzed to move even more than 2 houses down for fear of kidnapping a 26-year-old adult who makes a business out of looking young. I still feel rape all too constantly. Thanks, Mom. Don't jump on the paint, Bubby. You went down? Hi, baby girl. It's mine. It's mine. Him. I thought he was a fix-me-up project, but now it's been 8 years, working our way onto 9. Stay with me. He's never wanted me to go, even though I've tried to leave. Of course I listen to him. He's a man, don't you know? And little girls never know what they want. Stay with me, he asks, and I agree. What harm would it do? Then we had an accidental little one. Now, too. We're their puppy parents, and I can't imagine their life without us. How could I travel alone with 2 dogs? Wouldn't people break the glass leading into my car, even as I paused for a few moments at a rest stop to rescue my beloveds? Or would they stay with Grandma throughout the winter as I ran from each activity to the next, adding pounds and pounds to their weight, with every bark another treat? Self-inflicted obesity. I guess that's almost the only kind there is. I want, I acquire. I devour, they ask, they receive, they ask, we have to know better. Or maybe I should go. Or maybe you should stay. Then, inevitably, I get sick, fairly sick, sick for months. And who is at my bedside? He is. He who has always been. From the first time there were sparks. I was in bed with pneumonia on my birthday. And there he was, fruit bowl in hand, as if to say, Happy birthday. Then we'd go out later, on short dates that were mainly based around riding in the car and finding Dairy Queen blizzards and Noble Roman's pizza. He's always been there for me. He continues to be there for me. And what do I do in return? Ponder leaving. Ponder if other people feel this half happy. and all we do is mask it and post cute couples photos online. I think of my mother, who vents to me about the antics my father has been causing. And a few months ago, I point blank asked her, "Why don't you get a divorce?" She'd never brought it up, but it seemed like a simple solution to me. I could never. But then something traumatic, unexpected happens. A pandemic, driving through water, nearly avoiding a wreck. I'm thrown back into an appreciation, a gratitude for the everyday, and not wanting to change our way of living. We are a team, and us, forever are we to be perpetuated. And here we are. This body, this hour. What is it like to be in this body, in this moment, in this hour? I never trust myself when it comes to eating food. My belly curls at the slightest process, but my mind thinks it's always a good idea. Ever more sugar, salt, flavor, but my body longs for the full richness that uncooked salad leaves bring. Roughage, whole grain toast, microgreens. This body is still while it is in motion. My new form of meditation includes breath holding and ever longing for the ocean. I'm meant to be in the water. I'm built to be submerged. I drape myself in rainbow garb, will find floral vests to wear. Succulents dot the landscape of my mind. Line my thighs and hips with more white-colored vines. Pour an endless stream of hot water and lukewarm herbal teas into me. If only I could feel real again, like my teenage years. I long for, I drift for, and towards the endless surge of emotions. Dictation, dedication, aching for the first times of everything, again and again. And knowing only I'll get dregs of second best. Kiss me with fairy lights, dance with me in the moon, gently place our feet into the moss-covered dew. Watch as butterflies gently flaps. Watch as the butterfly gently flaps to keep the snow from crusting the dagger of our youth. Pines sharply pierce through. Remind me of all my used to wants and lust. If only I had the means to. Now I have the means, but I'm too tired to. Lost in endless streams of conscious poetry. My sky is grayed over. The light lost its luster. Middle age or just a lost youth. Reminders of the vibrant self I used to long to be. I've finally given up on being that teenager who'd have parties stumble into her. But now I seek a scene, usually paying to join a group and temporarily be part of a community, then falling out, going home. I keep roasting ever more vegetables. My heart beats in my ears, hearing the fleeting movements of the fish as ice overtakes their shrinking pond of fresh water. White wall, whitewashed on a cold winter's day. Snow dots the landscape, and the Santa Fe sings her refrain. Whir and whistle goes the wind as I sit silently away, making moves to stroke fingers over keyboard, pining for the next day. Excuse me. Excuse me. This house. The housework overwhelms me. I let the housework overwhelm me. I'm overwhelmed by the house. A home should be a refuge, a place to be your most tired self, to relax. All I see are chores to be done. Even getting rid of all my things has become a new overwhelming to do. Lean operations, what I now aspire to. I used to thrift till I looked near hoarder status. Now I long to be lean, lean belongings, when I can pack up for another place and it not look like we're missing anything from this one. I know it's time, time to let go, time to redisperse, time to let go of the title of my belongings. I don't want to be in charge of taking care of a home. I miss childhood when I didn't have to worry about that. Mostly it's the things inside this house that have me surrounded. Sometimes a safety nest, the rest of the times clutter. More closets, less things. Tuck it away in my digital pocketbook, save it for a rainy day. Store the rest away in my parents' garage. Move to be wild, move to be free, move to the land of the mermaids. They are calling me. Sometimes time I'm out swimming and you are still on the shore. Sometimes time I went swimming out from the shore. Sometimes time I keep diving, searching, swimming deep away from the shore. Sometime, time. I'll leave my loves to carry on before they left me. Sometimes, time, I'll find my way into the blue, into the deep. Sometimes, time. Do you have any sexy poems? Do I have any sexy poems? I have poems about blank. I have poems that come from around and related to blank, but I wouldn't call them sexy poems. I have poems that talk about my blank, yet she's not authored any yet. I have poems about blank and blank. I have poems about yearning for a new lover and slamming into the old one night after night. But has blank written a poem for me? If I made love to a poem as she's pulled out of me, would you be my poem? Would you wind yourself into my life and teach me how you blank? Would you be my sexy poem? Make me blank as I set pen to page, greasy fingers to an overworn keyboard, yearning to get all of my blank out, but never finishing. My head still lusting and longing, for after my body can't take him anymore. Fluffy, creamy, sticky, egg white blood. This is how. Tell me what time of month it is by how badly I need you to blank in me. My body wants you to shoot me full of babies, but is it what my life path longs for? Take a chance, take your shot, and see what sticks. If anything sticks. If nothing sticks, it's all a risk I can't help but still want to take. I'll probably ask you again next month. Would you put a baby in me, please? It's been a wild night, a wild ride, a couple of opened up nights. Is this something I want to get used to? Can I get used to you? Or do you leave me wild, wondering what the next time together will be like, leaving me reeling and wondering if I've ever had blank before I met you, leaving me so satisfied and so blank at the same time. I never want to stop, but sometimes my body says I have to. I want you now. I want you again. I keep wanting you. So this is funny to me. Today, and this next poem's called Long-Winded. Assume it's a few pages long. But today's been all sorts of long poems. And last time it was all sorts of short poems. So that was so funny because I think I knocked out 41 poems in an hour and a half, just reading them out loud and taking breaks as I need to. But oh. Ooh. Oh yeah, we're 27 minutes